Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvatam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindha Deenabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayine Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurat Vishe Namaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyan Namami Bhakti Shaktikam. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Janmadhyasya tanvayaditaratas Charte subhigyaswarat Tene Brahma Hridayadikavaye Muyanti yat suraya Tejo varimridam yatha vinimayo Yatra trisargo mrisha Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam Satyam param dhimahi. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudire. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, chapter 6, beginning from verse number 48. This is a description of Lord Brahma visiting Lord Shiva at Kailas after the destruction of Dasa's sacrifice. And he was accompanied by all the devas, priests and guests. So he is speaking the glories of Lord Shiva. Shiva is the supreme controller, master, cause of the universe, and very compassionate. So the basic, one of the reasons why he is saying is that because he was accompanied by all these priests and devas and sages who were present, and naturally they were from Dasa's side, so they must have some negative feelings about Shiva and why he has done like this. And Daksa obviously was not such a bad person. Obviously if they are followers of Daksa, they are not going to think of Daksa the way we are seeing Daksa, because when an incident happens, then it is seen in different light, and those people who are not part of the incident, they see it differently than those who are part. Especially if there is a quarrel, then both parties see the same situation in a very different manner. Mahabharata we study, we are seeing it from the side of the Pandavas, and it looks how wrong was Duryodhana in troubling Pandavas, but actually Pandava will have his own take on it and his followers. So they will not think the way we are thinking. And suppose a follower of Duryodhana has to write a history of Mahabharata, he is not going to write like this. It will be totally different. So different people write history books, and the same incident is presented in a different manner. It is another thing that something becomes very popular and then it is always continued like that. So now you have Dalit movement in India, you probably heard about it. And I'm sure you have not read the books which they write. They have written so many books against Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, Rama, and they depict this Rama and Krishna as completely demoniac people basically. And it is very interesting that how they can have such a view of these people. So you will know that once there was like in this Periyar guy in Tamil Nadu, he even took out a procession of the deities of Lord Rama hitting in the shoes in front of everybody. So they have a different view of the same situation. So obviously these people who were associated with Daksha, they will not have the same view of Shiva as we have. And Brahma wants to change it. And this is the technique he is using. He could have also told the Devas that, okay, you go back and I will talk to Shiva and we'll fix everything. He did not do that. He took everybody there and he will make them ask forgiveness to Shiva, and he is speaking about Shiva's glory, so that Shiva's position is established properly and they don't harbor any negative feelings against him. This is very important. So how nicely he is doing it. Otherwise he is such a senior person, there was no need for him to do this. So this is called Niti. This is called good politics. That how to change the mindset of people in a positive way and remove the harsh feelings or hatred between them. Otherwise many times the compromises are done among parties, but people inside remain same and they are only looking for an opportunity to take revenge again, but in a covert manner. Externally they are smiling, but internally they are not friendly in the heart. So Lord Brahma is changing their internal feelings by doing this. So he is even going overboard, speaking on this as if Lord Shiva is everything. Although later on we will see that Lord Vishnu will appear in the sacrifice and then he will be glorified even by Shiva. So this is just also to counteract if anyone gets the wrong idea that Lord Shiva is the Supreme God. So immediately it follows. So Bhagavatam is a very interesting book in that sense, that it again and again repeats who is the Supreme and what is the process to be followed. But also teaching practical lessons, especially for devotees, that how they should not maintain the jealous or envious nature, and what to speak of having this nature towards Lord Shiva. Because there are some Vaishnavas who don't like Shiva. So that is not a good sign of devotion. So Brahma says, Yasmin yada puskarna maya durantaya sprishthadhiya prithak drishaha kurvanti tatrihanukampaya kripam na sadhavo daiva balat krite kranam. So it's very sagaciously he is speaking how he is specifying Shiva also at the same time and showing his greatness to the other party. So in earlier one he said that only animals become angry or become overpowered by anger, not the holy people. Now he says that only those people whose intelligence is polluted or influenced by the Maya of Lord Vishnu, they see things independent of Vishnu. And obviously then they act wrongly. So what is to be done to such people if we know that they are under the influence of Maya? So it says, Kurvanti tatrahi anukampaya kripam, that the great people, holy people, they don't punish them, but remain compassionate on them. Kripam anukampaya, sadhavu, the holy people. And they don't try to show their power on them. Kramam deva bharat. They are powerful, but they don't use their power to chastise, punish such people. So this idea of prithak drisha, or considering oneself as independent of God, this is the disease of living being in this material world. That we are actually not independent of God. This is the basic problem we have. And this is the root cause of all other problems. So no one is independent. But we feel that we are independent. And that feeling of independent is only in a limited period of time. Because when a child is in the womb of mother, she is not independent. She is nothing independent. When the baby is born, he is not independent. He is dependent for everything. He does not even know how to pass stool properly. Then he grows up, still he is dependent. Then he become young, he hit the teens. Then you are full of beams. Then you think you are independent. Right? And you think that I own the world, I can do anything. But that also only when you are awake. When you sleep, you are not independent. Everybody knows this. You fall asleep, where is your independence? You are lying on the bed. Anybody can come and do anything to your body. Unless you wake up, you don't know. They can steal. Or if you fall sick, you get a headache, you are not independent, that you can remove your headache and you die. Possible? No. You get diarrhea, you are not free to get cured immediately. So we are not independent, but we forget this amazing thing. This is the power of Maya. So there are three states of existence: wakeful state, dream state, deep sleep state. Out of these three, we know very well that we are not independent in two states. So what makes us think that we are independent in the third one? Then we are babies, we are youth, and we are old. In the first and the last stage, we are not independent. Cannot walk properly, you need glasses to see. Then you cannot digest your food properly, so you need something to digest. You realize you are not independent, but still we think we are independent. So this independence is the big illusion. This is called prithak drisha, because only when we feel like that, then we make offenses, or we cause disturbance to others, we exploit, we cheat, we try to do so many things. If we actually remember that we are not independent, then we will remain sober. So why we forget this? Says Puskar Nabha Maya. So Brahma is speaking. He was born from the lotus navel of the Lord, therefore he is calling the Lord as one who has lotus navel. Puskar means lotus and Nav means navel. So he says it is because of Maya of the Lord. So in other words, he is also indicating that there is somebody who is beyond me and also beyond Shiva, whose Maya is working here. So being influenced by this Maya, and this Maya is called Durantaya. Krishna also says this Maya Durataya. It is very powerful. It's not that one can transcend it by one's own abilities. So when this happens, then Prithak Drisha. So the purpose of devotion is to give up this independence and to realize unity with God. That is the purpose. That is the purpose of all this reality literature. Because that is reality. That is a fact, which at present looks very far-fetched to us and unreal. And that is because of Maya. So he says that those who know this, they are called sadhus, who understand this fact. Then they don't become upset with people. They know that this is the nature of these people because of Maya. So they are compassionate on them. So Kripa Maitri. I just say that they do Kripa on that. Ishwaresu tadadhanesu balesu dushatsu cha prem maitri kripa upeksha yakaroti samadhi. So on such people, they show their kripa, their grace, their compassion. And not that they try to show and give them more trouble, because they are, as was said earlier, that they are already troubled by their own karma. सर्व सहनशीलापि साधव पर दुख असहिष्णुव स्युर अतस्ते स्वापराधिनोपि दयन्ते एवेत्या. So he says that all the sadhus are very tolerant, but there is one thing they do not tolerate, and that is the misery of other people. This is the only thing they cannot tolerate. So then what do they do? That swaparadhinopi dayante, that even if they have people who have offended them, they are gracious to them also, because of this nature of sadhu. Yasmin dese yadava kale sprisht dhiya abhibhut buddhaya kurvanti duskritam iti sesa. So whenever a person's mind is influenced by the Maya or this external power of gods, then at that time, in that place, they perform some improper act. So what can be done about it? Tatratesu anukampaya kripalatu sabhavena kripameva kuranti. Then because of their very good nature, the holy people, the sadhu, the saintly people, they show their compassion on them. Daiveneva balatkrite dukhadanartam balatkare krite sati karam parakram. So they do not try to trouble them or take revenge with such people, even if they are offending. So that's in case of Jesus Christ, when he was put on the cross, then what was he saying? That, oh God, they do not know. Forgive them. So he was compassionate on them, because he was a realized person, so he knew what these people are doing. And therefore he said that they do not know what they are doing. And if they do not know, what is the point in punishing them? They are already being punished by their ignorance. So he said, please forgive them. So this is the nature of a sadhu.
The sadhu is forgiving, but then these people, they are not rectifying their behavior. For example, if they realize the mistake and they are punished, then they don't do it anymore.
Then they what?
They will not do it anymore.
So that's why that is the job of the king, to punish them.
Somebody has to punish them.
And that's why we have the state government. Bhavan stu punsha paramasya maya durantaya sprishtamati samastadrik taya hatatma swanu karma chetah swanugraham kartumiharasi prabhu. He said that, O Prabhu, O Lord, you are completely untouched by this insurmountable maya of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. This maya cannot touch you, and therefore you are samastadrik. You have the proper vision. You have the equal vision towards all, which means that nobody is your enemy, so that you take revenge. So taya hatatmasu anukarma chetah swanugraham. So these people are already like dead. What is the use of killing these dead people? So you give their grace to them. This is what I request you. Brahma is requesting you. Tavtu sadhu chudamane kopo naiv sambhavet ityaya bhavastu. Says you are the crest jewel of all the sadhus, of the holy people. You are the topmost. Therefore it is not possible that you become angry. Because really becoming angry means that you harm somebody. So he says it is not possible that you can harm anybody. In other words, even if he has killed Daksha, this is actually for the benefit of Daksha. So if a saintly person is becoming angry on somebody, that anger is also for the benefit of that person. Because it is not the anger in the normal sense. As we will see that because of this punishment, or so-called punishment which Shiva has given to Daksha, Daksha became rectified. It will be described in the upcoming chapter. How after this incident Daksha will be revived back to life, and then when he comes back to life, he will be completely changed person. He would have given up his animosity towards Shiva completely, became his follower. So this is Shiva's grace on him. Although the grace is coming in a harsh manner, like the bitter pill. Sometimes in Ayurveda they give you very bitter medicine, so you don't like it. Or the surgeon is doing an operation on you, so you may not like it, it may be painful, pulling out your teeth or something. But ultimately it is for your benefit. Once it is done, then you are healthy. So it is a similar type. So sometimes the grace comes like hot sauce and sometimes it comes as a sweet chutney. So hot sauce you may not like, but it is also grace. It will also clean up your stomach, kill all the bacteria. So he says that you are the sadhu chudamani, the topmost sadhu, therefore you don't get angry. Asprishtamati, you are not touched by Maya at all. So Lord Shiva is not under the influence of Maya, although sometimes he may do activities which seem like under the influence of Tamoguna. Atah samastadrik, Tesam aparad phalam mahadukham pasyasi eva. So he says that you know that the outcome of their offense is very misery, great misery. Tesu anugraha prakaramaha taya hatatmasu. So how you have to be graceful, then it is described. Anukarmah chetsviti tasminiti. Ete khalu maya hat buddhaya. He said that these people have lost their intelligence. Because what Maya does is that it covers your intelligence. Ajnanena avritam jnanam ten muhyanti Canto. When intelligence is covered, then we make mistakes. So grace of Lord comes when He gives us intelligence. So dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So how does grace of the Lord come? That He gives us good intelligence, so that we can make proper decisions and take proper action. That is the real grace. Usually people think that I get some wealth, power, position, then this is grace. The grace is that you can know how to discriminate between proper and improper action. That is actual grace. So Lord is, when God gives grace, He does not control like one controls the animals by stick, but He gives grace. So matta smritir jnanam apohanam. Krishna says that knowledge, wisdom comes from me. Buddhi buddhir matamasmi. I am the wisdom of the wise. So that is the real mercy of the Lord, and He gives us the wisdom to understand that we are not independent of Him. We are linked with God, we are surrendered to Him, we are part of Him. That is the real grace. So that's what He is saying, that these people are hat buddhi, they have lost their intelligence. Katham vivekam labhantam. Now, so how can they have discrimination if they don't have intelligence? Because intelligence function is to discriminate. Nana karma grasta manasa katham va sadhun pashyantu. And they are very much occupied in performing materialistic activities. When we lose our intelligence, then we can only perform activities for material motives. Cannot get a proper thought in our head. Even if someone tells, you don't understand this. So then you are always occupied in materialistic pursuits. So how can they know who is a sadhu and who is not a sadhu? That's why they have offended you. So Lord Brahma is saying, why have they offended you? Because they are under the influence of Maya, so don't be upset, what can they do? So actually the real sadhus, they don't take offense for this reason, because they understand that people are like children. What is the use of taking offense from against them? So, etesu mam daiva uchita. So therefore, only your grace is proper. So now he comes to the proper point directly. Says kurvadvarasya uddharanam hatasya bhostvaya samaptasya mano prajapate nayatra bhagam tav bhagino daduhu kuyajvino yena makho niyate. So he says that, O great thinker Manu, please bring his sacrifice back into shape. Kuru advarasya uddharanam. So it has been demolished. So rectify this sacrifice. Atasya bho tvaya asamaptasya prajapati. The sacrifice of Prajapati, who has been killed and it is not completed. So please revive this. He says that these people Kuyajvana, they are bad priests because they did not keep a share for you in that. Netra bhagam tava bhaginam. You deserve a share. You are a bhagin, you are a shareholder in the sacrifice, but they didn't give you. So therefore, they are in problems. So now, and it is for this reason only that their sacrifice was not completed, because he says that your sacrifice is completed when your share is there. Yena mako niniyate. So he is also explaining why the sacrifice was disturbed, because there was no share of Lord Shiva in it. Therefore it could not be completed. So now he says that you please do this. Tari samprati kim kartavyam tad bruhi ityatyahaku. So if Lord Shiva is asking that, okay, now what is to be done? I understand what you are saying. What do you want me to do? So then he says, Tvaya hatasya ataiva samaptasya prajapatiradvarasya. So that sacrifice which is completely demolished and complete, so you please complete it. Yatra adhvare bhagino api tab bhagam nadada. Although you deserve a share, they did not give it to you. Yena fal datra tvaya makhon niyate phalam prapati. So you are the giver of the sacrifice, so you bring it to perfection. Jivtadiyas manoyam prapadyeta akshani bhagaha bhrigosmasruni rohantu pushno dantasya purvat. So he says, let the host, the Yajman, come back to life. Daksha was killed. So let him be revived to life. And let Bhaga, demigod who lost his eyes, says let him get back his eyes, he get his vision back. And Bhrigu, he lost his moustache. So he says let his moustache grow again. And Pushan, he lost his teeth. So he says, please give him a set of teeth. These days there are good dentists. They can make nice teeth. So buy one set for him. Poor guy is starving, cannot eat properly. So do this. Devanam bhagna gatranam ritvidam chayudhasmabhihi bhavtanugrhitanam ashumanyostvanaturam. Then they lost many of their limbs, because when these associates of Lord Shiva went, they were throwing stones and they had weapons, and so they cut somebody's hand, somebody's leg, some other part. So he says, let they get back their limbs, whatever they have lost. And bhavtanugrhitanam asu manyastu anaturam. So by your grace, let them quickly be healthy and happy again. Because these devas were standing there. So he says, look, this fellow standing here, somebody has his hand broken, somebody's nose is smashed. So please, let them come back to their original state. Esha te rudra bhagostu yaduchishtoddvarasya vai yagyaste rudra bhagene kalpata madhya yagyahan. So because of this incident, Lord Shiva got one name called Yagyahan, or destroyer of the sacrifice. So he's addressing him by this name, that oh Yagyahan. So let you get the share in the sacrifice again, that whatever is remaining, Uchishta, After everybody has been given their share, whatever remains will be your share. Esate rudra bhagastu yaduchisto advarasya yagyasya te rudra bhagena kalpam. And therefore now let the sacrifice be completed again. So many commentators have explained this word uchista. Uchista usually means the remaining part, but they explain that this is the best part, not the remaining. Usually what remains is considered as the nikrishta or the lowest, but it also means the best. So he says, Esha te bhagastu yat uchishta utkrishta. Shishto avshishto artha. So he also says that what is the best, that is your portion. Tena te bhagena yagya kalptam sampaditam. So by that you please complete this sacrifice. So this is the end of 6th chapter. Then the 7th chapter begins. Maitreya Vacha. Maitreya said, Iti ajena anunitena bhavena paritushyata abhyadhai mahabaho rahasya sruyatam iti. Maitreya, who was describing this incident to Vidura, he says that in this way, when Lord Shiva was supplicated by Brahma with nice words, then Lord Shiva became very pleased, satisfied. So he smiled, and while laughing, he spoke the following words. So you please hear. Sri Mahadeva Vacha. Mahadeva said, Nagham prajesha balanam varnayenanuchintaye dev maya vibhutanam dandaspatra drito maya. He said that, O Prajesh, O master of the Praja, means Brahma, he said that I don't talk about the sin of these people, nor do I think about their bad action. But because they were under the influence of Dev Maya, Maya of the Lord, therefore I took up my rod of chastisement to fix it. So Sri Vishnu Chakravarti says that Sambhum stuvata Vishnu Avirbhutaha Satuštave Tuštuve Dakshina Ritvigadesha Yagyapurtischa Saptame. That in this 7th chapter there is a description that how Lord Shiva, he was pleased, and then Lord Vishnu became manifest in the sacrifice, and he was glorified by Daksha and so on, and then the sacrifice was completed. Through the subject of this chapter number 7. Ajena anunitoyo bhavastena. So Lord Brahma, he supplicated Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva was pleased. He prajesha paresha iti chapatra balanam agyanam dandas tesam hitartham shiksharupa. So he says that this chastisement which I have given to them, this is only to rectify them. It is not to punish them, but to give them instruction, as sometimes the parents have to chastise the child. So the parents are not enemy of the children or the child, but they don't want that the child gets spoiled. And they say that spare the rod and spoil the child. So for that reason I took the rod of chastisement, because these are the people who are the standard for the general populace. Daksha is a Prajapati Pati, He is the master of all the progenitors. And then all the sages like Bhrigu, Bhagavad, these devas, they are there. So if they behave like this, then others will also follow suit. Then that means they will also disregard Shiva and then go to hell by offending Shiva. So he says it is only for this reason that I have taken this action. Don't take it otherwise. Not that I got angry or I am proud and therefore I am taking revenge. So this is not a revenge, but an instruction to them. So Prajapater Dagdha Sirshno Bhavato Ajamukham Shira Mitrasya Chakshusha Ikshet Bhagam Swam Barhisho Bhava. He says that let Prajapati Daksha, he get the head of a goat, because his head was burnt in the fire, so that head is not there. So let him have a goat head, because he was very much behaving like a goat. And Mitrasya Chakshusha Ikshet Bhagam Swambari. So what about Bhaga, who lost his eyes? So he says, let him use the eyes of Mitra, there is another god, to see what he is getting in the sacrifice. So he has to use the eyes of another person. His eyes are lost, what can be done? There is no transplantation of eyes. But I gave the facility that he will be able to see with the eyes of Mitra. So Mitra's eyes are going to function for both of them. This technology is not developed yet, that you can see with another person's eyes. So maybe in future they will figure it out. And Pushatu Yajmanasya Dadvir Jakshatu Pishtabhu. What about Pusha who lost his teeth? He says, let him eat with the teeth of the host. And he will be given only halwa. Halwa, you know, it's very soft. You don't need much teeth. And it is very tasty. So let him satisfy his hunger by the teeth of the Yajman. Means you have your set of teeth. You can hold. One old couple went to a restaurant. So they ordered meal. They ordered pizza. So the man is eating and the woman is sitting. And the bearer, the servant, he came and he brought for both of them and he's looking that why is he not eating. So he could not stop asking. He went and asked that, Madam, why are you not eating? So he says, I will eat after he finishes. So he says, is it a custom that the wife eats after the husband has finished? Because in India this is the custom also. So he says, no, I'm waiting for the set of the teeth. Yeah, one set. So you see, this is called love. Love means to share your teeth. So he said that he has to share the teeth with the Yajman and eat his halwa. And Devaha Prakrit Sarvanga Yeme Ucheshanam Dadu. And what about the Devas? He says that they will get all their limbs back. Who I want to give me the remaining. And Bahubhyam Ashwino Pushno Hastabhyam Krit Bahava Bhavantu Adharvayaschanne Yastasmasru Bhrigu Bhavet. So he said that this Pushna, he will use the arms of Ashwani Kumaras. Hastabhyam Krit Bhava Bhavantu Adharvayaschanne, and other people who have lost their arms and hands, then they will use the arms and legs of Pushna, and Bhrigu, he will get the mustache of the goat. Because he is very much friendly with Daksha. So Daksha gets a goat head and the mustache goes to Bhrigu. So, Ajamukhamiti tasya tattulya buddhitvat. Why is he getting a goat head, this Daksha? He says because he was speaking like a goat. You see how goat does mama? I. That's what it means. He says his intelligence is like a goat intelligence, so he gets goat head. And mitrasya chakshusaiti svanetra suchkatva lakshan dos dushtatvat. And mitra, he sees with the eyes because this guy was moving his eyes when Daksha was cursing Shiva. So he says, now let him see with the other's eyes. Bhagam swamiti tadvid jana chakshusha svabhojya vastu matru darshana tatparyakatvena parmarthikatva bhavat vayarthyanati bhav. And this Pusha will see with the others, he will see his food from the other's eyes. And because this guy did not have any spiritual vision, so that is his punishment. And Pusha kevalas chet prishtubhag bhavatu. He will eat the soft diet. Anya sahitas chet yajmanasya dharmi. When he is at home, then he will eat soft because he has no teeth. When he is in the sacrifice, then he can eat with the teeth of the Yajman, the host. So then he can relish a little bit of feast also. Why is that? Because he was the one he was showing his teeth and laughing when Shiva was getting cursed. Sadhu nasta sarvathaeva dhanadhanani achityat. So those who make fun of the sadhus, they don't deserve to have teeth. That is the meaning. Ucheshlam utkrishtam sesham sim bhagam yena dadus te deva asmak dveshna dakshasya yagya putra bhagatvat chinnanga bhuvan samprati prakrit sarvanga bhavantu. And these devas who did not give part to Lord Shiva in the sacrifice, let them get their limbs back. Manindan samaye daksha pakshasya grahanat iti bhava. When Daksha was criticizing me, they were on the side of Daksha. That's why they lost their limbs. Tanmadhya ye kechid advaryo daksha pakshapatimas tat samye bahu hastachalanam chakru ste bhagna bahu. When Daksha was cursing Shiva, those who were the followers of Daksha, some of them were moving their hands, yes. So he said their hands were cut or broken. And Asvinor Bahubhyam Krit Bahava Pushno Hastabhyam Krit Hasta. So let them have the arms of Aswani and hands of Pushna for their work. Kincha Bhrigos Masrun Ulluchitani Sacha Dakshasya Mukhya Eva Amatya. And Bhrigu, his mustache was uprooted because he is the chief counselor of Daksha. So Bastmukhasya tasya samusroni prapnatu. So let him have the mustache of Daksha on his goat hand. That he's the one who was giving him advice. So that's what Lord Shiva made arrangement for all this. We'll stop here.
It seems like he rectified them, but still prolonged the punishment a little bit. No?
At least they will remember.
Yeah, for a little time. It will be more effective punishment.
Yes. Otherwise, if you don't give punishment, then you think, well, anyway, what happened? For a short period we suffer.
Yeah.
So the others will always see that he has a goat head. Why is he having a goat head?
He has to explain.
So everybody has the explanation. This is what happened.
What's the significance of the mustache? Why?
Because he was friendly with Daksha. And Daksha is getting a goat head. So he's getting the mustache from the goat head.
Yes, this verse from Bhagavad Gita, what is it now? Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya marjana. Anukulasya means all the things that are favorable.
Right.
And pratikulasya means all the things that are unfavorable for the development of or surrender of bhakti, yeah?
Yes.
So is it correct understanding to say then that niti which is performed like Brahma is doing, or like Krishna did with Balaram, that is what makes niti good is that it actually brings about the favorable
results.
Yeah, it produces favorable results, and then good niti produces.
It's for selfishness.
Excuse me?
Good niti is for selfishness.
Yes. So which is antagonistic to bhakti.
Yeah. Because there is a motive for one's own self. So that is the difference between being a devotee means united with God, means your heart is united with God. So you see everything from His point of view. Anukulyam Krishna Vasuyam. And when you are independent, then you are seeing for your own enjoyment. What is benefiting, which means materially.
As a symptom of independent thinking.
Is there a way to cultivate this realization? We can reflect on this fact that we're not independent, and we can.
Yeah, cultivating means, like Krishna, Arjuna is asking in Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter, Kesu Kesu cha bhavesu chintyosi bhagavan maya, that how do I remember you while being in the world? So then Krishna says, I am the taste in water and I am the heat in the fire. So all these things remind that even a simple thing, you drink water, then says Krishna. So this way you remain conscious of God. Because the basic problem is forgetfulness, and when you forget, then you start thinking of yourself, because you don't forget yourself. So if you remember God along with remembering ourselves, then we know that we are not independent. When you forget God, then who else is there but me? Then immediately I become the God. I become the center. So we have to remember, this is the essence of all rules. Smartavyam Vishnu Saktam Vismartavyam Jatuchit. Always remembering Krishna, never forget. This is the essence of Sarve Vidhin Shredhasu Eteo Redakinkara. All rules, all regulations, do this, do that. The ultimate reason why they are rules, to bring your memory of God. It is with that intention that rules are made. They have a purpose. It's like when government is making a law, they have a purpose behind it. It's not just to put you in trouble. There's a purpose behind it.
Is it another way to cultivate this dependency by taking or by accepting voluntary poverty? I mean, like we see, at least in the Christian tradition, some of the monks, they take a vow of poverty, or even in our tradition, no? The yatis, the sannyasis, they wander and have no home, they have no possessions, and in this way,
one way to remind oneself.
And this way, they have to pray intensely in order to get their maintenance, and then they realize that I am dependent on God, and He is supplying. It's not my bank account, it's not my family, it's not all these things.
Yes, this is one. one means to remember, or we are actually forced to remember that. But again, that has to be the purpose, because many times again people do this and then this becomes a means to make money. They also utilize this. So then they dress like this, but then they have a bank account. Many sadhus do this.
Yes.
They live like completely miserable situation, dressed improperly. All these street beggars.
Yeah, a lot of them have bank
They
accounts.
have bank account, they have a lot of money. Sometimes you read in the newspaper some beggar died and there's so much lakhs of rupees in his bank account. But they dress like this because, and they have the demeanor, their voice, how they say it, so that people feel compassionate. So that is not to remember themselves as dependent on God or anything. That is again Prithakdas thinking, I am independent. Using the act of dependency to remain independent. Okay, Hari Bol.